Would you please welcome the second president of the University of Austin, Dr. Carvalho.
Good evening, students, parents, and all the supporters that help us build the University of Austin. I'm honored to be with you today at your convocation, and what I think is the most important and exciting university in America. Thank you for trusting us with your education. We're thrilled to welcome you into the UATX family. Tonight, as we gather on the threshold of America's 250th anniversary, I want to share with you this moment, why this moment and UATX represents something essential about the American experiment. 250 years ago this week, King George III formally declared Americans to be rebels and traitors. This dashed the colonists' hopes for a peaceful reconciliation and set the path to declare a new nation based on the proposition that all men are created equal. But on the heels of America's quarter-millennium since the Declaration of Independence, I want to do something a bit unfashionable. I want to defend inequality. Of course, all men are created equal, but all men are not the same. We have unequal curiosity, unequal intellect, unequal talents, unequal courage, unequal drive, and unequal achievement. I want to defend this kind of inequality because I believe it is the most important way that UATX distinguishes itself. And because being honest about inequality is the most important way that UATX can help you be extraordinary. Alexis de Tocqueville, the great 19th century critic of the American democracy, noticed that the passion for equality dominates every American institution. He admired this democratic spirit, but also issued a warning. Tocqueville warned that the concept of equality is the most powerful compulsion in the American mind. A dominating drive for equality may suffocate the very people whose uncommon talent, courage, and vision could pull everyone else upwards. Without these rare sparks of excellence, there are no breakthroughs, no bold leaders, no innovations, no radical thought that disrupts the human tendency towards lazy conformity. Tocqueville famously observed that people in democracies might come to prefer equality in servitude to inequality in freedom. In the name of making all things equal, we end up equal only in mediocrity. And that is the surest path to slavishly submitting to authority, submitting to bad ideas, submitting to an overbearing government, and submitting to the soft tyranny of low expectations. Equality without excellence is the surest path to national decline. A free society, to remain dynamic and free, must enable those gifts to develop, rather than force them into a common mold. So even in a republic of equals, we need small sanctuaries of aristocracy and excellence to ensure the success of liberty. Democracy runs on equality. Freedom and excellence runs on inequality. The tension between those two realities shapes every real problem in education today. How do we respect every person's equal dignity and opportunity while also recognizing and cultivating individual excellence? Nearly every university in America has decided to answer that question by abandoning excellence. Harvard hands out more A's than any other grade. Yale gives nearly 60% of its students A's. Princeton no longer requires Greek or Latin to major in the classics. Columbia proudly ditched the SAT. In our leading institutions, honors are handed out like candy, while calculus is quietly dropped. At UATX, we know you cannot democratize a serious education by watering it down and expecting to keep its substance. Plato fed to ChatGPT turns Plato into a mediocre social media post. Economics, without some basics in calculus, is just cable news polemics. The truth is that excellence has no shortcut. When people mass-produce artificial diamonds, they turn out to be pebbles that nobody values. The attempt to counterfeit excellence only cheapens it. If you make the difficulty and the extraordinary dumbed down or commonplace, you destroy it. At UATX, we will not counterfeit excellence. For students, that means being asked to do the hardest academic work you have ever done. Carefully reading what an author actually wrote. Stepping through an argument line by line. Breaking down a scientific methodology and reproducing it. Or building a model that fails 10 times before it works. You'll be graded according to standards, not your intentions or our wishes. You will hear no, not yet, try again, very often. Our students should never accept anything uncritically, but thriving in an aristocratic institution requires starting with humility and charity, assuming at least at first that the authors you read, the professors who guide you, and the administrators who correct you might know more than you do. You won't always like it, but if we're doing our jobs well, you will always benefit from it. High standards are the highest sign of respect. Telling you the truth about where you stand is respect. Holding you to the mark is respect. It is the only way to draw the best out of you. If we demanded anything less, we would be insulting your potential. UATX is indeed aristocratic because it dares to tell the truth that inequality is everywhere. As Jefferson put it, there is a natural aristocracy among men. The grounds of this are virtue and talents. Each of you carries different strengths, abilities, and passions. Some books will shape your mind for life, while others deserve to be forgotten. Some disciplines wrestle honestly with reality, while others are unserious and don't deserve your time. To pretend otherwise is to flatten human experience into mediocrity. We refuse that premise. Jefferson proposed a model school where each year, quote, 20 of the best geniuses will be raked from the rubbish. Bold phrasing aside, Jefferson's point was crucial. Let the best rise from any condition and educate them deeply for the common good. That, to us, is the most American solution to the reality of human inequality. We cannot and should not make everyone the same, but we can assure that anyone from anywhere with ability and drive has the chance to climb as high as they are able to. At UATX, we open our gates to any American, from any background, regardless of means, family legacy, or identity. A child of an American president and the child of a waitress get the same treatment in our admissions process and in our seminar rooms. Our jobs as educators is to get the best out of each of you, unequal though your gifts may be, by setting high standards and insisting in excellence. Although we believe this approach is the best kind of education for you, our acceptance, or should I say our embrace of inequality, is not selfless. Ultimately, it's not just about you or your potential. We do it because we believe it is the best way to make our institution excellent, our country excellent, and our future free. Now a word to the parents. Since your kids decided to come here, we already know you have raised children who seek challenge and who put substance over mere credentials. That speaks to your success as families. And although I haven't met all of you yet, I suspect that raising such strong-willed, confident young people means that you are pretty strong-willed and confident yourselves. So I expect feedback from you, perhaps even the occasional complaint, and I welcome it, honestly. But I have one request from you. When you do complain, please make it about UATX not being challenging enough. Hold us accountable, not for coddling your kids, but for challenging them. To the class of 2029, you have chosen to rebel, not against hierarchy, but against its abandonment, not against standards, but against their erosion, not against excellence, but against those who would fake it. You rebel against a world that tells you mediocrity is enough, that comfort is the highest good, and that all answers are equally valid. Your rebellion is in the service of ancient truths, that wisdom deserves deference, and that difficulty breeds strength. America's next quarter-millennium begins here today with you. Welcome to the rebellion. Welcome to the University of Austin. Thank you.